want you to imagine something powerful. Every day you have an opportunity to upgrade the most valuable asset you possess, not your bank account, not your social status, not even your physical strength. The most valuable asset you have is your mind. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of your thinking. And one of the most effective ways to strengthen your thinking is through daily reading. Most people underestimate what happens when they read. They think they are simply looking at words on a page. In reality, reading is a workout for the brain. Every sentence challenges your mind to process information, create meaning, form connections, and store knowledge. Just as lifting weights strengthens muscles, reading strengthens neural pathways. The more consistently you read, the more efficiently your brain operates. You become quicker at understanding ideas, solving problems, and making decisions. Daily reading sharpens your mental abilities in ways that few other habits can. Think about memory for a moment. In today's world, people are surrounded by distractions, notifications, short videos, and endless streams of content constantly compete for attention. This is how many people struggle to focus and retain information. Reading daily pushes back against this trend. When you read, your brain must remember characters, concepts, facts, and relationships. This repeated mental exercise improves memory retention and cognitive flexibility. Over time, your mind becomes more capable of storing and retrieving information when you need it most. Reading also improves concentration, a skill that has become increasingly rare. Many people find it difficult to focus on a single task for more than a few minutes. Yet every time you sit down with a book, article, or educational material, you train your attention span. You teach your brain to remain engaged with a single stream of thought instead of jumping from one distraction to another. This ability to focus deeply is a competitive advantage in every area of life, whether you are a student preparing for exams, a professional managing complex projects, or an entrepreneur building a business. Another remarkable benefit of daily reading is its impact on creativity. Creativity is not magic. It is the ability to connect ideas in new and valuable ways. The more ideas you expose yourself to, the more material your mind has available for innovation. Reading introduces you to different perspectives, experiences, cultures, and solutions. It expands your mental library. When challenges arise, your brain can draw from a larger pool of knowledge and generate more creative responses. Many of the world's most successful innovators, leaders, and thinkers are also passionate readers because they understand that fresh ideas come from fresh inputs. Daily reading strengthens critical thinking as well. We live in an age where information is abundant, but wisdom is scarce. Every day, people encounter claims, opinions, and arguments competing for their attention. Reading regularly helps you evaluate information more effectively. It teaches you to analyze evidence, identify patterns, question assumptions, and form independent judgments. Instead of accepting every idea you hear, you develop the ability to think for yourself. This cognitive skill is essential for making better decisions in your personal life, career, and relationships. Reading also enhances communication skills. The words you read become part of your mental vocabulary. The sentence structures you encounter improve your ability to express thoughts clearly and confidently. As your language skills grow, so does your ability to influence, persuade, and connect with others. Strong communication often separates those who merely have good ideas from those who can inspire action. Every page you read contributes to your ability to share your thoughts more effectively. There is another cognitive benefit that often goes unnoticed: mental resilience. Reading challenges your brain to engage with complex ideas and unfamiliar concepts. Sometimes you encounter information that is difficult to understand at first. By working through that difficulty, you develop intellectual endurance. You become more comfortable with complexity and less likely to give up when faced with challenging problems. This resilience extends beyond reading itself and influences how you approach obstacles in every aspect of life. Research has consistently shown that mentally stimulating activities can help maintain cognitive health as people age. Daily reading keeps the brain active and engaged. It encourages continuous learning and adaptation. Just as physical exercise supports bodily health, mental exercise supports cognitive vitality. The habit of reading creates a lifelong process of growth that continues regardless of age or background. What makes reading especially powerful is its accessibility. You do not need expensive equipment, special training, or extraordinary talent. A few pages a day can create significant changes over time. The key is consistency. Small actions repeated daily produce extraordinary results. 10 pages a day may not seem impressive, but over months and years, it can expose you to thousands of new ideas, countless lessons, and perspectives that reshape the way you think. Every day you read, you are investing in your future self. You are strengthening memory, improving focus, enhancing creativity, sharpening critical thinking, expanding communication skills, and building mental resilience. These are not temporary benefits. They compound over time, creating a stronger, smarter, and more capable version of you. The books you read today become the thoughts you think tomorrow, and the thoughts you think tomorrow ultimately shape the life you create. Every great achievement begins with a powerful mind. Before success becomes visible in the outside world, it is first created in the invisible world of thought. The stronger your mind becomes, the greater your ability to learn, adapt, solve problems, and create opportunities. This is why daily reading is one of the most valuable habits a person can develop. Reading is not simply an activity for gaining information. It is a process that actively strengthens brain function and enhances overall mental performance. When you read, your brain performs a remarkable series of tasks simultaneously. It recognizes words, interprets meanings, creates mental images, connects ideas, and stores information for future use. Unlike passive forms of entertainment, reading requires active participation from the mind. Every sentence challenges your brain to work, process, and engage. This constant mental activity strengthens neural pathways, making the brain more efficient and adaptable over time. Just as physical exercise develops muscles through repeated effort, reading develops the brain through consistent mental stimulation. The more frequently you read, the more connections are formed between different regions of the brain. These connections improve cognitive abilities such as reasoning, comprehension, and analytical thinking. Over time, tasks that once seemed difficult become easier because the brain becomes better trained to handle complex information. One of the greatest advantages of reading is its ability to expand knowledge while simultaneously improving the brain's processing power. Every book, article, or educational resource introduces new ideas and perspectives. As the brain encounters fresh information, it learns to organize, categorize, and integrate that knowledge into existing mental frameworks. This process enhances mental agility and allows individuals to think more effectively when faced with new challenges. Reading also increases mental flexibility. In a rapidly changing world, success often depends on the ability to adapt and learn quickly. People who read regularly expose themselves to diverse viewpoints, experiences, and ways of thinking. This exposure trains the brain to consider multiple possibilities instead of becoming trapped in rigid patterns of thought. As a result, readers often demonstrate greater creativity, adaptability, and problem-solving ability in both personal and professional situations. Another important benefit is the improvement of cognitive endurance. Many people today struggle with short attention spans because they constantly switch between different forms of digital content. Reading requires sustained focus and concentration over an extended period. This mental effort strengthens the brain's ability to remain engaged with a single task. Over time, this increased attention capacity improves productivity, learning efficiency, and overall mental performance. Reading also strengthens the brain's ability to recognize patterns in relationships. As readers encounter new information, they naturally compare it with previous knowledge and experiences. This process improves reasoning skills and helps the brain identify connections that may not be immediately obvious. Such cognitive abilities are essential for effective decision-making, strategic planning, and innovation. The brain thrives on challenge, and reading provides a continuous source of healthy mental stimulation. Each page presents opportunities to think, imagine, analyze, and learn. Unlike activities that require minimal mental effort, reading pushes the brain to operate at a higher level. Over time, these repeated mental workouts create a stronger, sharper, and more capable mind. The simple habit of reading every day becomes an investment in intellectual growth, allowing individuals to unlock greater levels of mental performance and prepare themselves for success in every area of life. Memory is one of the most valuable tools we possess. It allows us to learn from experiences, retain important information, build relationships, and make informed decisions. Yet many people rarely think about strengthening their memory until they begin to notice difficulties remembering names, facts, tasks, or important details. One of the most effective and accessible ways to improve memory and information retention is through daily reading. Every time you read, you engage your brain in a process that challenges it to absorb, store, organize, and retrieve information, making memory stronger over time. When reading a book, article, or educational resource, the brain is constantly collecting information. It must remember characters, events, concepts, facts, vocabulary, and relationships between different ideas. This process acts as a workout for memory. Just as repeated physical exercise strengthens muscles, repeated mental exercise strengthens the brain's ability to retain and recall information. The more frequently the brain is challenged to remember details, the more efficient it becomes at doing so. Reading encourages the formation of new neural connections within the brain. Every piece of information you encounter becomes linked to existing knowledge and experiences. These connections create a network that helps information remain accessible for future use. The stronger and more numerous these neural pathways become, the easier it is to retrieve information when needed. This is why people who read consistently often demonstrate greater knowledge retention and stronger recall abilities compared to those who rarely engage in reading. Another powerful benefit of reading is that it strengthens both short-term and long-term memory. Short-term memory is used when processing information in the moment, while long-term memory stores information for extended periods. During reading, the brain constantly transfers information between these two systems. Readers must remember details from previous pages while simultaneously understanding new material. This repeated exercise improves the efficiency of both memory systems and enhances overall cognitive performance. Reading also helps improve concentration, which is directly connected to memory retention. Information is more likely to be remembered when it receives focused attention. When individuals read regularly, they train themselves to stay mentally engaged with a specific topic for longer periods. This focused attention allows the brain to process information more deeply, increasing the likelihood that it will be stored successfully. As a result, readers often find it easier to remember what they have learned and apply it in real-life situations. The act of visualizing information while reading further strengthens memory. As readers imagine scenes, concepts, or situations described in a text, multiple areas of the brain become active. This combination of mental imagery and information processing creates stronger memory traces. The brain is more likely to retain information when it is associated with vivid mental pictures and emotional engagement. This is one reason why stories, biographies, and compelling narratives are often remembered long after they are read. Reading regularly also exposes individuals to repetition, one of the most important principles of memory formation. Key ideas, concepts, and themes often appear multiple times across different books and materials. Each encounter reinforces existing knowledge and strengthens memory pathways. Over time, repeated exposure helps transform information from temporary awareness into lasting understanding. In a world overflowing with information, the ability to remember and use knowledge effectively has become a significant advantage. Daily reading strengthens this ability by training the brain to absorb, organize, and retrieve information more efficiently. Every page read contributes to a stronger memory, greater learning capacity, and improved cognitive performance, creating benefits that extend into education, career success, personal growth, and lifelong intellectual development. In an age of constant notifications, endless scrolling, and instant entertainment, the ability to focus has become one of the most valuable skills a person can possess. Many people find themselves easily distracted, struggling to stay engaged with a single task for more than a few minutes. This decline in concentration affects productivity, learning, decision-making, and overall cognitive performance. One of the most effective ways to strengthen focus and concentration is through the simple habit of daily reading. Every time a person reads, they train their brain to sustain attention, resist distractions, and engage deeply with information. Reading requires active mental involvement. Unlike videos or other forms of passive entertainment that present information automatically, reading demands participation from the mind. The brain must recognize words, interpret meanings, follow ideas, and maintain awareness of what has already been read. This continuous mental engagement forces the reader to remain attentive. As a result, reading becomes a powerful exercise for strengthening concentration and developing greater control over attention. When someone reads regularly, they gradually increase their ability to stay focused for extended periods. At first, it may be challenging to remain engaged with a book or article without becoming distracted. However, just as physical endurance improves through consistent exercise, mental endurance improves through repeated reading sessions. The brain learns to maintain concentration for longer durations, making it easier to complete tasks that require sustained attention in other areas of life. One of the reasons reading is so effective at improving concentration is that it encourages deep thinking. To understand a complex argument, follow a story, or learn a new concept, readers must stay mentally connected to the material. They cannot simply glance at the page and expect meaningful results. This process teaches the brain to remain present and engaged rather than constantly seeking new sources of stimulation. Over time, this strengthens the ability to focus on important tasks without becoming distracted by external interruptions. Reading also helps train selective attention, which is the ability to concentrate on relevant information while ignoring distractions. In everyday life, people are surrounded by competing demands for their attention. Social media alerts, messages, advertisements, and countless other distractions constantly interrupt thought processes. When reading, the brain learns to filter out these distractions and focus on the content at hand. This skill becomes increasingly valuable in academic, professional, and personal settings where sustained concentration is essential for success. The improvement in focus gained through reading often extends far beyond the reading experience itself. Students who read regularly may find it easier to concentrate during lectures, study sessions, and examinations. Professionals may notice greater productivity when working on complex projects or solving difficult problems. Entrepreneurs and leaders may become more effective at strategic planning and decision-making because they can maintain focus on long-term objectives without being easily distracted by short-term noise. Reading also strengthens comprehension, which is closely linked to concentration. The more focused the mind becomes, the better it can absorb and understand information. As readers learn to pay closer attention to details, they become more capable of identifying key ideas, recognizing patterns, and connecting concepts. This deeper level of understanding improves learning efficiency and allows knowledge to be retained more effectively. Daily reading provides a structured opportunity to slow down and engage the mind in meaningful thought. It encourages patience, discipline, and sustained attention in a world that often rewards speed and constant stimulation. By consistently dedicating time to reading, individuals develop stronger concentration, greater mental endurance, and improved cognitive control. These benefits create a foundation for higher productivity, better learning outcomes, and enhanced performance in every area of life. Creativity is often viewed as a special gift possessed by artists, inventors, and visionaries. However, creativity is not limited to a select few. It is a skill that can be developed and strengthened through daily habits, and one of the most powerful habits for enhancing creativity is reading. Every book, article, and piece of written content exposes the mind to new ideas, experiences, and perspectives. Over time, these experiences expand the imagination and provide the raw material necessary for creative thinking and innovation. The human brain does not create ideas from nothing. Most creative breakthroughs occur when existing ideas are combined in new and useful ways. Reading provides the brain with a constant supply of information and inspiration. Every story, concept, historical event, scientific discovery, or personal experience encountered through reading becomes part of an individual's mental library. The larger this library becomes, the more resources the brain has available when generating new ideas and solving problems creatively. Reading introduces people to perspectives they may never encounter in their daily lives. A person can explore different cultures, professions, historical periods, and ways of thinking simply by opening a book. This exposure broadens mental horizons and challenges existing assumptions. When individuals encounter ideas that differ from their own experiences, they become more open-minded and flexible in their thinking. This mental flexibility is one of the most important foundations of creativity because it allows people to view situations from multiple angles and discover innovative solutions. Fiction, in particular, plays a powerful role in stimulating imagination. When readers engage with stories, they create mental images of characters, settings, and events. Unlike watching a movie where visuals are provided, reading requires the imagination to build the experience from words alone. This constant exercise strengthens the brain's ability to visualize possibilities and think beyond immediate reality. As a result, readers often develop richer imaginations and greater creative potential. Reading also encourages curiosity, which is a key driver of innovation. Curious individuals are naturally motivated to explore new ideas, ask questions, and seek understanding. Each book opens the door to additional subjects and discoveries, creating a cycle of continuous learning. The more curious a person becomes, the more likely they are to explore unfamiliar territory and develop original insights. Creativity thrives when the mind remains curious and eager to learn. Another important benefit of reading is its ability to help individuals make unexpected connections between different fields of knowledge. A reader may learn about psychology from one book, business strategy from another, and human history from a third. Over time, the brain begins to recognize patterns and relationships across these diverse areas. Many groundbreaking innovations emerge from combining ideas that appear unrelated at first glance. Reading increases the likelihood of these connections by exposing individuals to a wide range of information and experiences. Daily reading also improves problem-solving abilities. Creative thinking is often required when traditional solutions fail to produce desired results. By reading about how others have overcome challenges, readers gain access to countless examples of resilience, innovation, and strategic thinking. These examples expand the range of possible solutions available when facing personal or professional obstacles. Instead of becoming limited by familiar approaches, readers develop the confidence to explore alternative possibilities. Innovation in business, science, technology, education, and leadership often begins with a single new idea. Those ideas are more likely to emerge when the mind is regularly exposed to fresh information and diverse perspectives. Reading fuels this process by continuously providing intellectual stimulation and inspiration. Every page contributes to a richer imagination, broader understanding, and greater capacity for original thought. Through consistent reading, Individuals strengthen their ability to create, innovate, and contribute meaningful ideas that can transform both their own lives and the world around them. One of the most valuable cognitive benefits of daily reading is the development of critical thinking and decision-making skills. In a world filled with information, opinions, advertisements, and competing viewpoints, the ability to think clearly and make sound decisions has become more important than ever. Every day, people are faced with choices that affect their education, careers, finances, relationships, and personal growth. The quality of these decisions often determines the quality of their lives. Reading regularly helps strengthen the mental abilities required to analyze situations, evaluate information, and make wiser choices. Critical thinking begins with the ability to examine information carefully rather than accepting it at face value. When individuals read books, articles, research studies, or educational materials, they encounter different arguments, perspectives, and interpretations. The brain naturally begins to compare ideas, identify strengths and weaknesses, and evaluate the evidence supporting various claims. This process trains readers to become more thoughtful and analytical in their approach to information. Instead of reacting emotionally or making assumptions, they learn to think logically and objectively. Reading exposes people to complex situations that require careful consideration. Whether reading history, science, philosophy, business, or biographies, individuals encounter problems, conflicts, and decisions faced by others. As readers follow these situations, they analyze causes, consequences, motivations, and outcomes. This mental exercise strengthens their ability to assess real-life situations with greater clarity and understanding. Over time, they become better equipped to anticipate consequences and choose actions that lead to positive results. Another important aspect of critical thinking is the ability to recognize patterns in relationships. Through regular reading, the brain becomes skilled at identifying connections between ideas, events, and concepts. Readers learn to see how one factor influences another and how small decisions can lead to significant outcomes. This ability helps individuals make more informed decisions because they are better able to understand the broader context surrounding a situation. Reading also encourages intellectual independence. In today's digital environment, people are constantly exposed to opinions from social media, news sources, influencers, and online communities. Without strong critical thinking skills, individuals may simply adopt the beliefs of others without questioning their accuracy. Reading provides access to diverse viewpoints and encourages independent evaluation of information. By exploring multiple perspectives, readers learn to form their own conclusions based on evidence and reasoning rather than relying solely on popular opinion or emotional reactions. Decision-making improves significantly when individuals possess a broad knowledge base. Every book adds new insights, lessons, and experiences to a person's understanding of the world. This accumulated knowledge becomes a valuable resource when making choices. Readers can draw upon examples from history, leadership, psychology, science, and countless other fields when evaluating options and solving problems. The more knowledge available to the mind, the greater its ability to make informed and effective decisions. Reading also develops patience and reflection, two qualities that are essential for good decision making. Many poor decisions result from impulsive thinking and rushed judgments. Reading encourages individuals to slow down, consider information carefully, and think through different possibilities before reaching conclusions. This habit of thoughtful analysis often carries over into everyday life, helping readers avoid unnecessary mistakes and make more deliberate choices. Problem solving is another area where reading contributes significantly. Every challenge presents multiple possible solutions, and effective problem solving requires the ability to evaluate alternatives critically. Through exposure to stories, case studies, research findings, and real-world experiences, readers gain insight into how others have addressed obstacles and achieved success. These examples expand their understanding of potential strategies and improve their ability to select the most effective course of action. As individuals continue reading throughout their lives, they strengthen the mental habits that support rational thinking, sound judgment, and informed decision-making. They become more capable of evaluating information objectively, identifying reliable evidence, considering multiple perspectives, and choosing actions that align with their goals. These skills are not only essential for academic and professional success, but also for navigating the complexities of everyday life with confidence, wisdom, and clarity. In conclusion, reading daily is far more than a simple pastime. It is one of the most powerful investments a person can make in their cognitive development. It strengthens brain function, improves memory, enhances concentration, fuels creativity, and develops critical thinking and decision-making abilities. In a world where distractions are everywhere and information is constantly changing, the habit of reading provides a lasting advantage. Every page read contributes to a sharper mind, a broader perspective, and a greater capacity for learning and growth. The benefits may not always be visible immediately, but they accumulate over time, creating remarkable results. By dedicating even a small portion of each day to reading, anyone can unlock greater mental potential, improve cognitive performance, and build a foundation for lifelong success. The books we choose today have the power to shape the knowledge we gain tomorrow, the decisions we make in the future, and ultimately the life we create for ourselves.